Hey, Dr. Sharon Smith. Hope you're doing well. We're going to be here talking about optimizing your website for Pinterest. I'm also live in the Pinterest and SEO marketing Facebook group, and it's so great to have you here. If you have a question, please let me know. I'll invite you to come and just join me on stage. This is a closed room, so feel free to ask me any question you may have, or just join me on stage if you're available. And yes, it's going to be very interesting because this is going to be a closed room for the next 30 to 45 minutes before I open it up to Clubhouse, because this is a private room. And the reason why it's a private room is because I want to make sure that you get it first because you're part of this club. And I really appreciate your time for being here so that you can be able to learn more about what we can do with our websites for Pinterest. So, with that said, I know some people are going to be coming in during the course of the discussion, so I'm going to make sure that everything is covered, and if there are any questions, it can always be replayed in the Facebook group. And how you can get to there is if you just click the link in my bio, either on Instagram or on Twitter through Clubhouse, and then when you click on the link tree option, you're going to be able to see the Facebook group. So feel free to join us. It's the same name, Pinterest and SEO Marketing, and we have a lot of conversations there. I've dropped some pictures, some videos, some throwbacks. It's really, really good. So, how do you optimize your website for Pinterest? This is how you're able to do it, right? When you optimize your website for Pinterest, what you are doing essentially is that you are keeping your page title in a very condensed format. And what does that mean? You have to think about how you're performing, how you're putting out your content, how it's actually making sense to the algorithm, how you're able to really truncate your content. Because sometimes we think, oh, this is how it wants to work, this is how it needs to go. We don't want to stress ourselves. Like I want to tell you this today, right? You don't want to stress yourself because the moment you start to stress yourself about, oh, I want to be on page one, oh, I want to rank, it's not going to be helpful. So you want to make sure that you are concentrated in learning the procedure and giving people something to listen to, something to read through, something to click through. That's why we have something called a click through rate. So when you're thinking about a click through rate and you're clicking and you're making sense and you're putting out content, you're doing things sporadically, but you're also creating content. You're also being in the space of actually understanding that you're helping someone grow. Welcome, Margaret. Thank you for being here. We're talking about how to optimize your website for Pinterest. So the word optimize, what is the word optimize? What does that mean? Because we talk about optimization, we're like, oh, what does optimize mean? And sometimes we don't really see or understand what that means to us. But if you really think about it, it's making the best and most effective use. This is a definition, right? It's making the best listen, it's making the best or the most effective use of a situation, opportunity, or a resource. And what is a resource? Now we're looking at the one that has the resource part of it. So when you think about your resource, you're thinking about you're creating content for people to see, you're creating content for people to understand. It's something that you want to actually put through. You want to be in a space where you want to actually attract the right people. Have you ever thought about it this way, where you want to attract the right people, but you can't see them because they're probably not seeing you? So when you're thinking about content, you want to be very thoughtful. You want to be very focused on those things. So that's why you want to make sure that your content is something that you can be able to put out there for people to see and people can be able to find you. So this is how you do it, right? When you think about content, this is how you do it. When you start creating content with your keywords in mind, right? I talked about letting your keywords be as little as possible. 2 to 4 words, you can be able to do this very slowly but very well. So 2 to 4 words, make sure that it's tight, make sure that you're able to really know how you can, scale it through. And then when you do that, welcome Jennifer and Sandra, you start realizing that you are ensuring that you have something on your H1 tag. Now, this is your H1 tag. Your H1 tag is the title, and it's a title that really allows you to be the very owner of that word, of that keyword, of that picture, of that video. So you want to drive conversations, but the only way you can drive conversations if they can find you. And how can they find you? They can only find you when you're able to use a H1 tag. And how do you find this H1 tag? If you have a website, the same way you have a website and you've called it the home page, about page, the same thing on Pinterest. That's what happens too. You actually create content, and then when you're creating content in that board that we talked about, because we're actually doing a challenge right now, you put content in that board. What you're essentially doing is you're using a H1 tag, and the H1 tag is coming from, and this is the best part, the H1 tag is coming from the title. So the title that is in bold, even when you look at Google, right? You look at Google and Google shows you the title and it's in blue. Now that title in blue is telling you that this is the name of the website. This is the name of the content field. So you want to be very specific on how you can be able to drive conversations through that H1 tag. Now, the reason why this room is talking about how to optimize your website for Pinterest, and it's a closed room. If you look at the top right, you'll see it's closed, is because I want to show you first before it goes out. And that's why I really appreciate you guys for being here. We're going to be here for the next few minutes. It's not going to be long, up to like 30 minutes. We're going to open up the room to everyone else. But within those 30 minutes, I would have given you everything that you needed. So if you want to optimize your website for Pinterest, you have to think about Pinterest as your search engine. Like, don't think about it as a social media platform. Don't think about it as a platform that you want to create content for and just say, okay, I wanted to rank for the word digital marketing. So I put one board and I left. No, it does not work like that. You want to make sure that you're building content repetitively and you're also adding value. And this is why, as a business, you're always adding value. You're always changing your models. You're always creating active campaigns. You're always doing something as a business. So why are you not doing the same thing on Pinterest? So it should not be a bad thing for you to put content and let content really come out there for you to see, for others to see, and for you to actually make that impression. It takes a while. But people say, oh yeah, it takes 12 months, it takes 5 months, it takes 3 months. It can take 2 weeks to rank, and it could take a day to rank. I've seen some of the articles we've done have ranked just because of the structure. So today I'm giving you some pieces of nuggets that you can be able to, get into, work with, and tell me how it worked for you. I'd love to know the experiences that you've gone through to know exactly where you are. And that's why I'm also here to really bring it out so that you can ask me the questions. So if you have any questions, please feel free to raise your hand and I'll bring you up. No problem. So you got to keep your H1 tags tight. Now, what other thing that do you have to do? There's something called a meta description. I don't know if I don't think I've ever talked about it like in full. So a meta description, right, is not just it's not just the word meta description. It's like you're describing, when they say metadata, just like music, what is the title, what is the name, how long is the song. That's the same thing for metadata. So if it's your picture, your metadata is your alt text, it's the description, it's a file name. So you're creating metadata, you're creating content that is in bite-sized format, but it's all leading up to something. So that's where you have to be very focused on your metadata, on your descriptions. Where do you find these descriptions? You find it in your descriptions tab. When you create a pin on Pinterest, we just talked about the title, the H1 tag. Make sure that your H1 tag is standing out. When it's standing out, people can find you faster. And if you have call to action, click here to join now or find out how, something that's going to allow them to click through it, then you're building a lead. You're building an authentic reach. You're building a substantial set of values that you're actually giving people to see about your business. So when you're on Pinterest, you're focusing on your title, you're focusing on your descriptions. So now, how do you fix your descriptions? How do you use your descriptions? Your descriptions help you very much so in a way that you start to actually look at it from a different point of view. And this is how you actually construct it, right? You want to make sure that the keyword, the primary keyword, is in the beginning of your text, somewhere in the beginning, because Google crawls about 60 characters, sometimes 40 characters. It could be the shorter the better when it comes to the length of the URL, but it could also be a benefit to you if you have long form content that has a long tail domain URL. So that's really up to you. Either short form content or long form content, you need to see how those two measure out for you, because it works for both. So understand where your meta descriptions are, and then put your keywords in the beginning, put your related keywords in between, so that those things can actually start coming back to your posts, coming back to your feed. Those are the things that are going to help you, because you want to make sure that you're creating content that actually converts, and you want to make sure that this content can be seen by the next person. Now, how do you do this? You have to actually include a keyword into your page URL. I just talked about it just now. When you're creating a URL, you're creating something that someone is going to search for. The same way someone is searching for best coffee recipes is the same way your H1 tag should be best coffee recipes for the winter. It should be, something for family eating or family outing. You have to think about those things consistently, but you don't want to be overwhelming yourself. So you want to make sure that you're creating content that has a keyword with a page URL in it. And that page URL needs to be short and simple. You want to avoid filtering words and all these very things. Like, you're only using this for a very long blog post. Like, so if you're able to do it for one blog post and do it well, then you can start to actually see things grow over time. And over time, things actually start to grow for your business. So think about those things. Think about the keywords you're using, and then also ensure this, right? I want to make sure that you also have this in mind. Your pictures, your images, your videos, your all those great media contents, your graphics, your GIFs, all of those great things, all of them should have descriptive alt text and their file names. That's one thing that you should know. Like, we're not even talking about posting or ranking or clicking. We're talking about basic essentials. So you want to make sure that you have this taken care of, and you can be able to ensure that your images have descriptions that have alt text. And what is a descriptive alt text? It's an alternative text, right? So an alternative text is a text that tells you what this is actually supposed to say. Like, for me, if you look at my Clubhouse profile picture, if you look at the avatar, you can see it's purple, it's white. You see, I'm holding up a peace sign. It looks like I have my shades on the side. So when you look at that in my descriptive alt text, I'm gonna probably just write purple and white background with favor or Basike. So now you've put my name with, which is the related keyword to what I'm describing, which is a purple and white, which is a background. But now I'm focusing on the brand. So it's different when you start thinking about those keywords and knowing where to place them, because that's how you actually start to create those impressions for yourself. So with that said, make sure that you have your keywords, make sure that you have compelling title pages that are human readable, things that people can read, people can be able to see them, they can understand it. Because if it's human readable, it means that you're writing to Google and you're telling Google that you can be able to understand me. Sometimes people write and Google doesn't understand them, and they don't understand why they are not ranking. It's weird. So you want to make sure that you have content that you can be able to rank with and build out. So when you start building out content, that content starts to actually create content back for you, because about 23% of searches on Google Images are web searches. They are web searches. So what is a web search? You're looking at different web internet domain authorities, and you're thinking about how can you be able to put this content together and still make sense. Does that make sense? So you want to make sure that you have content that converts. You want to have content that actually makes sense. You want to have content that people can see, and you want to have content that people can read. So when you start doing that, you start having something called the schema markup. Now, the schema markup is where you can be able to get featured rich snippets. If you have, like, for example, a YouTube video, you have a website, you have something like a Twitter card, you have a Pinterest account. So those are little nice things that you can add to your H1 tag. You can add that to your descriptive metadata. You can be able to add that to your file name. You can be able to add that to your content. And then ultimately, you're putting that upon Google to now index your content. So now you're wondering, how do you get all this content ranked? How do you get it indexed? So now this is something that usually you have to do. You don't have to do it directly, but there's a way that when you do it, it really helps you understand what people are looking for. And this is it. When you start posting stuff, and this is the last thing I'll say before I'll let anyone come up on stage, and just let me know if you want to come up on stage. You can raise your hand, but I'm going to open up the floor actually at the 20th minute. I was going to say 30, but 20, because I was able to finish it up in 20 minutes. So this is the last thing I'm going to say. When you create content, right, and you're building out your content and you're using all these metrics I've given you, the next thing that you should do is connect, and you've heard this before, connect it to Google Analytics and the Search Console. And then don't stop there. When you go to the Google Search Console, the next thing that you should do is to go to the Performance tab, which is on the left side. When you click on Performance, you need to index your website. So if it's your website.com / whatever, you put that content and you request indexing. When you request indexing, you're telling Google to index, and this is the important part of everything that I'm going to say today. And CJ, I'm glad you're here, because I don't usually put this out to a lot. I don't say it a lot, but when I say it, it's probably in context. And this is it. When you start putting your content first, and you start creating your content for the person that needs it, and you're optimizing your website, you start realizing that your Pinterest starts to give you feedback. And this is where the feedback comes from. You're posting something on Pinterest, right? You have something on your website that you're leading them to. It could be your landing page, it could be your product, it could be a something, right? Now you've done that, and you're telling Google Search Console to search your website, because when Google is searching your website and indexing it, when you're requesting that index, you're typically telling Google to check your H1 tag, to check your body index, and to see what is the content of that body. What are you talking about in there? And if it's something that is of value, and then Google can see it, then Google is going to send feedback. It's going to send feedback signals back to you. And feedback that's coming back to you is simply this. Going to tell you that, oh, people are looking for how to do this with that. And then you realize, oh, I didn't know that. People say go to Answer the Public. Your Answer the Public is literally in your Google Search Console. That's how people should find you. So if you can be able to apply all these tactics, use it to your potential, and start growing, it's going to be something that you can be able to benefit in the long run. So I've been able to close this up at least before the 20th minute. And CJ, I'm going to invite you to speak if you have any question, or if you just want to say hi, feel free. If not, that's still cool. Oh, you made it up. What's going on?
So, it's 1:30. It's like 20 past one in the UK at the moment.
Oh
Um,
wow, damn! I
yeah,
appreciate you for joining, man. I really do.
but I'm doing better at Pinterest. I'm learning. I'm learning the different Pinterest rooms. I'm getting better. Last time I spoke to you on stage with I can't remember her name. She's from London as well. But
Oh, is it Amra?
Amina, Amra, yeah, that's it. Yeah. Last time, yeah, my followers were like 38 on Pinterest when I spoke. Now it's about 560. So it's grown.
Whoa, whoa, whoa,
Yeah.
whoa, 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 whoa! Say that again.
So when we spoke, it was 38 when I last spoke to you, and now it's like 560.
Y'all,
Um,
are you guys listening to this? What? Okay, tell me, just give me the breakdown. Tell me what
so
happened.
one thing that you told me to do. Um, I had one page called Blog Business Brand, which it was just one page, and you told me that I've got too much under one page or one board. Sorry, not page, board. Sorry. So what I done, I divided up the board into blog, business, brand, 3 separate boards, and I started posting specific content to those boards. One thing you gave me feedback on was that it wasn't like the boards weren't sort of tailored to me. It was almost like I was just taking a lot of different pictures. So I created on Canva just a little picture for each board. So whether I'm promoting any sports products, any health products, I've created like a acres or board for each specific. I think it's just more appealing on the eye. And since then, yeah, my followers are kind of growing. My call to action is probably been a bit better. I got more traffic to my blog, so it just hopefully get some steady improvement. I want to try and get to like a million views in a month. I'm on like 560,000 around that.
Yo, oh my God. You know what? Yo, telling me this is crazy. I didn't know this at all, and that's the beauty of Clubhouse because I never get this information firsthand until someone tells me. And what you just said, how long did that take from the number that you had when we first spoke and now? How long was that timeline?
I think we spoke about, what was it, 2 months ago, maybe two and
Mm-hmm.
a half months. 2 months ago. So the followers. I'm getting more followers every day. So before it was like here and there. So I say about two and a half months.
Damn. Damn.
Two and a half.
This
Yeah.
is crazy. Wow, I'm so happy to hear this, man. Now with Pinterest, how has that changed your strategy?
So now I've sort of created a mailing list. I never had a mailing list before. I was just trying to get a bit of followers on Pinterest, but now I've created a mailing list. I think probably I underestimated the power of a mailing list.
Mm-hmm. Huh?
And my descriptions on my pins are probably tailored towards more keywords and probably a bit more informative rather than robotic.
I like that.
Yeah, so slowly, yeah. So the target at the moment is to get to a million. When I've looked at people like not competitors or people who do that similar blogs to me, they're on about. There's a girl called I think her name's Abby Lawson. I think her blog is called My Girl, a girl on that blog, and she's on like quite a few million views per month. So that's sort of my target.
Wow. Wow. This is crazy. This is crazy, man. Because one thing that you can do is if you're trying to collaborate and you've not reached out yet, you could do it in form of a comment and then comment on something that you like, but with the intention of leaving a good impression for her to now find your content and then ask you what you're about. Does that make sense?
Yeah. And people, you know what? I probably need to do that next and start commenting on other people that I follow because people do comment on some of my pins that I post up, and I do respond. I do respond to them, but I probably need to start maybe like dropping comments on other people's boards, on other
Yeah.
people's pins.
Yeah, you know why? Because if you start dropping comments, you're pretty much like dropping little mini posts on everybody's pin. So if you drop some dope gems, think about like TikTok. If someone writes a nice comment
Yeah.
or Instagram, it's at the top. So if you're writing really good comments and really good content that is really bringing people to wonder like, who is this guy? What is this brand? They'll click on your profile 3 years later, 3 months later, and you posted that a long time. You probably even remember what post that was, but somebody sees that post and still finds you and follows you. So you're pretty much kind of like building like tip trail tracks.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah. My pictures. In terms of getting the pictures, there's a lot of free content floating about. It's just that I just think maybe how I was organized on my board, it looked messy. Um, I think that helped when I got Canva and I started using Canva, and I kind of picked the pictures from each board. I think that kind of helped quite a lot.
That's amazing, man. And you are you focusing on one board now, or are you kind of simultaneously working through the rest of them?
I find that when I pick up something related to a business plan, when I look at the analytics, you also told me how to sort of look at analytics. I didn't even know about that before. So I kind of so I kind of since you last spoke, I kind of been keeping track of the analytics, and I find that anything related to a business plan, and like certain pictures and pins are getting like 80,000 views, impressions.
What?
So, yeah, I think when anything related to like a business plan, you get like almost like 80,000 impressions. So I find that business plans and business. So I say that even though I've got quite a few boards, I'll say the more business tips and the business oriented stuff kind of gets me the most engagement.
Yo, these numbers are crazy. You know, people
It's
need.
on my if you would have a look, it's on my website on my Instagram bio. If you want to look, then you can.
I'm about to check. I'm about to check it right now. Oh wow, John, thank you so much for joining today. We've been having a really close room talking about how to optimize your website for Pinterest, and we're just making this happen. So it's great that you're able to be here today. I'm about to open up the room to everyone, so I'll just invite you on stage as well as I'm about to check out CJ's content because I really want to check into that. And then once I open up the room, we can talk more. And this is a safe space, so feel free, feel free to be here. And I'm about to now check your content now, CJ. 1 second. So it's CJ. Um, that's is it the same on Instagram and Pinterest?
Yes, yeah. So my the website's Acres World on my bio,
Okay.
and then there'll be a Pinterest logo.
Oh yeah, like a social icon,
Yeah,
right? Oh, I see
yeah.
it. I see it now. Okay, boom. I'm in there. Whoa! Yo, yo. Did you take a screenshot before this happened?
I might have sent it to my brother. Um, I'm not too sure. Yeah, I might be able to find. Yeah, I might send it to him a while ago.
Hey man, you are doing numbers. You have 560 followers and you have 576,000 monthly views. That just tells me the ratio that you're creating is the margin is crazy because you're pretty much showing that your content has value. There's a cost per click, there's a CPM, and now people are able to control that content by listening to what you're saying, so seeing what you're posting. You've not even posted up to 1,000 pins yet. You're only like at 906, and you're you're doing numbers, bro. So this is really good. I'm about to open up this room so that people can hear the story, if that's okay with you, because this is a closed room right now.
Yeah, yeah. I will be going to bed in a minute because it's like 1:30 and I got work tomorrow. But yeah, I just tried to get as much sort of Pinterest knowledge as I can.
This is amazing. I'm gonna open it up real quick so that we can close out in the next 15 minutes. Let visitors in. Yep. Okay. Yeah. Now it's open up to everyone. Oh man, you have surprised me. I did not know this. Like I did not know that this is what's happening. You know what? I'm gonna take the content. I don't know if you're on our the Facebook group, the Pinterest and SEO marketing Facebook group.
And I don't think I am.
You
I don't
okay?
think I
I'm
am.
gonna send you the link right now so that
Okay.
you can join us because the it's crazy. You like I want you to like go whenever you're free, just to
Yeah.
go live and just tell them your story. Tell them what has happened based on what you were able to see
Hmm.
in the numbers because the for me my goal is to make sure that people can be able to see this for themselves without me talking about it all the time
Yeah. Yeah.
because
Because
yeah, go ahead.
before I had a certain pins got a lot of engagement. Like I got like on my on my website, I've got like a book recommendation section, and I got like one of my pins. I got quite a lot of traction, but I wasn't getting the followers. It's only when I sort of reorganized the board and the layout of the board and how it looked I started to get a lot more followers and a lot more engagement.
Wait a minute. So when you changed and you reordered the images and what you were doing, it changed the perspective of the viewers, and that allowed people to stay more.
Yeah, yeah. So like I said before, I had blog business brand under one board.
Yeah, I remember.
Yeah, yeah. So it was yeah, it's blog business brand under one board, and then I divided it into three.
Mm-hmm. I'm seeing that right now, and I love what you did with the covers. You used the board covers, and you gave style to it. You gave color to it. Your brand logo is still there. People can still identify with you, and it makes a lot of sense. Two things I want you to do to add on to what you've just done, right?
Yeah.
The first thing is to put your contact details, because like you said, you're building your mailing list, right? So if you have a work email, put your work email in the contact section, because the only option I have here is follow. So you can have two
Okay.
options: contact or follow. So when you go to your settings, you go to your settings section, you're going to see where you can add your email address and your phone number. So if you have a phone number, a work number you want to put there, business number you want to use, you can put that there, or you can just put your email, or both. And then when you do that, you're going to allow this people to contact you, and then when they contact you, it's going to be good too for your business, because that allows them to do their own research, and then contact you for something specific, so that you can also be thinking about that visibility access, because all these views could go up or down any day. So
Yeah.
so you don't want to like chill because now you got 500,000 monthly views. You have to like do more now. Like you have to like you said, you want to hit 1 million monthly views. It's possible. So if you want to make that, if you did this in 2.5 months, now you got to build that retention. And by building that retention, you have to start creating things that, like from what I'm seeing, you have great content, and you need to add more idea pins. And I'm going to bridge this to what I was going to say as a second point. Because you need idea pins,
Mm-hmm.
they're going to help you rank for this reason, because their Pinterest is pushing a lot of video. Inside one, you can upload about 20 images or 20 videos for ideas, so and each of them have 60 seconds. So you can literally
Okay.
load up 60 seconds. You can have like a whole 20-minute episode. You don't want to do that though. But you can
Yeah,
upload,
yeah,
but
yeah.
you can upload as much as possible, but still give people that retention, because people are looking for short video, vertical video. Like you mentioned, your analytics. When you look at your analytics, you have to split those analytics as well, by source, by device, by format, by content. And then when you do that, you can also start to look at in between the lines, and then see, okay, are people using their tablets more than their mobiles? Are they going to your Instagram more than they're going to your website? Then when you start creating that content, it starts to build over time, and then that way you get those idea pins seen, you get more value, but you actually show people how to do those things. Like you mentioned, you're talking about business, you're talking about blogs, you're talking about branding. Those are things people want to see. So if you can also use like Acres World, right? And you tell people the story, because you say we promote new business, new ideas, and cool products. And I love how you've done it. The motto is blog business brand, and I love the alliteration. It's right there. So if you think about the bees, now I would tell you this. This is like a little gem I'm gonna drop for you,
Yeah.
because you're using the letter B, and you're also indexing. You're also thinking about consistency in writing. So if you're using the B's already, think about typing like business B. Now you're creating a long tail keyword that is actually going to drive in some more traffic. So what you can do is
Okay.
do business B. You're going to get business branding, business books, business building, architecture, and then you start seeing, okay, what about those things? B, and you can go to BI, and then BA. Like you use those vowels, and then see what you get, and then match them up to the search to see how much traffic those searches are getting through the ads manager. So like right now, because you're doing this, you are actually creating content. And yeah, this is something that you can be able to do with your videos. And then ultimately, that I was going to mention earlier, was when you do your idea pins, you can be able to now do a video, because right now you have like a photo slide. You can turn this cover image into a video cover, sorry.
Okay.
and you can put like your branded logo. You can put anything you want to put on there, and even if it's 30 seconds, you can put 30 seconds of that content and actually create that content, and then allow them to see your content before they even start scrolling, because you're already keeping them in because you have a really nice saved board. Now you got to
Yeah.
keep them in with some videos so they can actually stay and stick around. So if you look at your analytics right now, tell me what you see.
Okay.
And guys, as CJ is checking this out, Wayne, Rocky, Rupesh, Carolina, Diana, thank you so much for being here. We have been in this room for a minute. We had a closed room. It was closed. It's just been open not too long ago, and CJ dropped some info for me before this room wasn't open, and I was like, "You guys got to hear this. Like, if you've never used Pinterest before, this is all you need. You need to be wise and think about your business and how you want to really scale." So, welcome to the Pinterest and SEO Marketing Club. Here is where we really go deep and dive into actual content and actually give you results. We're focused on results and only results. So, because of that, we've been able to build rooms, and that's why we also have a Pinterest and SEO Marketing Facebook group. I'm live right now in the Facebook group, and you can be able to binge watch and listen and be able to join us. If you're looking for that information, either send me a back channel message and I will send you the link directly, or just click the link in my bio on Instagram or Twitter, and you can be able to find it in the link tree, and you can be able to join, and it'll be exciting to have you there because we do a lot of great stuff. And speaking of great stuff, CJ, give us a
Yeah.
breakdown before we get your analytics, so that for the others who've just joined us, give us a little background of what happened before this started happening with your numbers, before we even get to the discussion of the analytics.
So I was probably struggling a bit in terms of getting a following, and how I was organizing my pins on my board. So when I spoke to Available, I had 38 followers on my Pinterest after putting a lot of content. Well, what I thought was a lot of content, and then from there, after speaking in one of the rooms, I was told how to reorganize my board, start using the analytics, see what was my weak and strong points, um, seeing how maybe I could divide up some of my boards into separate sections just to get a bigger audience. And from there, I'm now around 550,000 monthly views at the moment. And in about the space of 2 months, I've gone from like 38 to just over 500 followers. So there's been quite a big difference in coming to these rooms and getting a few tips.
Bro, you have dropped the gem of the week. You have dropped the gem of the week because people are wondering, okay, how did this happen? What did you do? Okay, yeah, you changed your boards, but there's more to it. Now it's all about the strategy you put. And in that strategy, like, you reordered your boards, what were you focusing on when you looked at your analytics that helped you understand exactly what people needed?
So it was telling me what sort of, well, I look at like the past 30 days and the past 7 days, and it was telling me sort of what sort of pins were getting the most traction. And I found that reading and business plans were probably getting the most traction. So for a while, I focused a lot on sort of business ideas, business plans, business modeling, and that's probably got me the most traction because I'm able to see sort of what pins people are sort of drawn to, which pins when I put a call to action are people actually clicking and looking at my website. So I focus primarily on like business ideas.
This is great. And the reason why you're really scaling these numbers is because you actually have proof that you have a board that someone can come to and they can actually learn from. Because we people think that, oh yeah, we need to create a board and we don't know what this board is going to do, but it exists. But you're using the board to actually create value. You're actually using it to help someone understand. And even I love what you've done with your business board. You've talked about promote your business and blogs. Every little helps, right? We want everyone
Yeah,
to win. Have a look at mine and feel free to drop me a message. You've done a call to action in there. You've given them some soft, like a soft welcome to your blog, to your board, to your feed, and you're giving them something that they're actually looking for, that they need, because they're actually looking for business tips. That's why they found
yeah,
you. So it's crazy how, like, people go on other platforms and use Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, LinkedIn, TikTok. Those are great platforms. Like I've been on this platform since they started, like Musically, TikTok, Instagram since 2012. Great products, but when I saw Pinterest, it changed the game because you're no longer thinking about your followers. You're actually thinking about the search engine, and you're attracting the search engine to you. So now that you focused on your analytics, now that I asked you that question about analytics, what do you see right now when you look at your overview?
Go back to it. So, so my impression is total audience engagement. Do you want the figures?
Yeah.
So the impressions is 548,000. My total audience is 285,000. Engagements is 29,000, and engaged audience is 15,000.
Wow. Okay. Now let's split that. So if you go to the split by section, where you see where it says no split, where it says performance overtime. So
Is
wait,
this on the app or the desktop?
on the desktop. Are you on your laptop or are you?
Yeah, no, I'm on the app.
Oh, okay, on the app. Okay, so what you do is how you get there is when you go to Pinterest, go to your
Yeah,
homepage, and then you see at the top right where it shows you like those little bars, like a bar chart.
yeah,
Yeah, so click on the bar chart. You're gonna see analytics or ads.
yeah, yeah,
Okay, so click on analytics, and then you're gonna see those four quadrants, right? The
yeah, yeah,
impressions. So you're gonna see a section that talks about. Click on impressions. That's the performance over time.
yeah,
So you're in there. Do you see where it says split by?
yeah,
Okay, so where it says no split, click on it, and then it's gonna give you some options, right? We're gonna
yeah,
start with the. Have you ever, before I go further, have you seen this before?
yeah. Last time I spoke to you, you showed me.
Okay, so now when we go to device, what do you see?
So I see the mobile 409,000, desktop 92,000, and a tablet 46,000.
Those numbers are huge. So you are now focusing mostly on mobile. That's really what your analytics are telling you. And now, if you do idea pins, and this is how we're
Yeah,
going to know how your idea pins are really going to skyrocket because they're just like reels on Instagram, but they just do wonders. So if you go to
yeah,
format, that's the last option, the one at the bottom.
yeah.
Okay, so what do we see?
So standard is 547,000. The product is 805. Idea 365. These are just not thousand, just 365. And then the video is zero.
Okay. So you see your standard is your static, which are your
Yeah,
images. And
yeah,
that's what you're building, which is great because images they last very long on Pinterest, right? Like the half-life of a Pinterest pin is 3.5 months. So you can really scale your business using Pinterest if you're really focusing on quality. And I love how Pinterest business allows you to claim your Instagram, claim your YouTube so you can build traffic. But now for you, because you're focused on standard, if you now focus on idea pins,
yeah,
you are going to change that 500 is going to jump to a million quick. And I want us to actually do a challenge. Like I want to actually see this happen because I wanted to talk about this. This is July 29th, right?
yeah.
So we talked about this about 2 months ago, 2.5 months ago when
Yeah.
you had 38 followers. And what was the monthly viewer number?
I think that the monthly viewer numbers, I can't remember specifically. Maybe like 5,000, maybe around about that.
Okay, so you pretty much like you've gone to the power of 100 at this point.
Yeah, yeah. It was in the thousands, but I can't remember exactly the figure. But it
Okay.
wasn't as high as it is now.
Okay, I see now. Okay, so if you look at the from 5,000 to 500,000, you've jumped up in a way that if you now add videos to what you're already doing,
Yeah,
you are going to take the lead in the areas that you're looking at. Because right now, when people are coming to Acres World, it's like going to a museum or a fun park, or going to a, like a game zone. You feel in, like you're in someone's world. You're in a paradise, going to Disney. So you feel some type of way because you're actually paying for that experience, right?
Yeah,
So
yeah,
think about someone paying for an experience when they come to your feed, because people follow boards. They also follow your accounts, but they also follow boards. So if you check your boards, you'll notice that you may have some followers and some higher than others, some may be lower, and they're following your boards. And the reason why you're getting those views is because those followers are finding your content. So
yeah.
use videos,
Mhm.
use idea pins, and make
Yeah,
sure that you use all the tags. Usually they give you about 10 tags in total.
yeah,
Use,
yeah,
yeah, so use all the tags. And actually, there was a Pinterest event that took place not too long ago, and for the creators, and they were talking about how when you're using your video pins, idea pins, you want to make sure that you are also focusing on SEO included. So what does that mean? So if you're talking about like business, right? Now you can say, if the video is like, let's say 7 tips for business growth. Let's just be basic, right? So
yeah,
7 tips for business growth. So the word business is already before the seven, right? Like it's not really before the seven, but it is in a way, because it's a future value, if that makes sense. Because the seven is just a numerical value, but business is the actual value that people are getting. So those 7 tips is leading them to those business tips. So the seven is the number, and you don't need to focus much on that. You just need to focus on the business, and then you now use that in your copy. And where do you put that copy? Usually, when you're about to go to publish a pin, you have options for notes, supplies, like ingredients. So for you, it will be notes, because it's just where you're adding your notes. So
yeah,
think about like your notes app, like your app, like your phone. So if you look at your phone and you go to the apps, the first time you type, you see like that big heading.
yeah, yeah, yeah,
That's your H1 tag. So that's the same concept you apply on Pinterest, and you put that H1 tag there. So if it is a keyword that is in your video, let's say you've typed up the video, you've told the people, yeah, this is what the video is about, 7 business tips, and then you use that in the video. So don't forget to actually add the text, because you're using your app too. Make sure that you also use the video in
yeah,
text mode, and then you actually type it, because some people say, yeah, I can repurpose this content on TikTok, on Instagram, just like the rules on Instagram tell you that you're not supposed to have like TikTok branded watermarks. That's the same thing for Pinterest, and it makes total sense, because you don't want your pin to go viral and then you can't monetize it because it's a sticker. You know what I mean?
yeah, yeah,
So
yeah,
you want to you have to focus on your brand IP, focus on your intellectual property, and make sure that you have. If it's your brand, put your logo there. If it's your content, put your logo in that video. Make sure that
yeah,
it's subtle, but it's very evident and significant. Then from there,
yeah,
people start to see it. My logo has always been on Clubhouse. My logo is literally on my hoodie. That's my merch. So I don't like, you have to show what people are looking for, and when they find you in that space, they're gonna stay when they actually see videos that they can actually follow through. So that's just what I wanted to tell you today, and I'm so glad you're able to tell me this tonight, because I did not know this, and I know it's late for you, and I really appreciate you coming. I've sent you the link to join
yeah.
the
I'll join the
Facebook
club.
group.
Yeah,
Yeah, and I'd love to hear your story whenever you wake up, whenever you're free. Just go free. It's a live space. People comment, they go live. It's
yeah.
crazy in there. So have fun. Just let us know, and then I'll also put the content out there, and I'll shout you out too. And then from there, you can let us know your story, because people need to hear this. Like, this is a success story, honestly. Congratulations.
All right. Thank you, Woody.
Anytime, anytime. Guys, this has been a great room. I know I'm going to close up in the next 10 minutes. So if you have any questions about how to optimize your website for Pinterest, feel free to raise your hand. I'm going to close off the hand raising in 5 minutes, and then I'm going to close off the room at the top of the hour. We've been here for about 50 minutes, but ideally, we opened up the room at the half hour, because we had a private room and I had some really deep points. And because we're growing on the platforms, we're having a great time. This is really where we're actually able to connect and just have a good time. So if you want to know the content that we talked about before this room opened, make sure that you're able to click the link in my bio. And when you click the link in my bio, go ahead and also click the link tree option. And then when you click the link tree option, you're going to see Pinterest and SEO marketing at the top. When you click on it, answer those three questions, and then you'll join the club. And when you join the club, feel free. We're going on a challenge right now. We're doing a Pinterest business challenge in the group right now. Today is day 2, and people have really given responses, and I'm excited to see what's coming next, because day 1, they were supposed to do a group, a board. They were supposed to create a board and a description board. To day 2, they're supposed to do a video, just like I've explained to CJ right now on how to do a video for Pinterest. So when you do a video, you create that video. Then tomorrow is going to be day 3, and we're going to actually post that video in that board. And the winner, the person who actually does it correctly, is going to get a sponsored ad credit they can be able to use on Pinterest to really use for the next 30 days. So it's exciting, it's challenging. I've seen only about 4 people that have done it, and when we were actually having a closed room the last time here, there were only 4 people that came in. So it's very tight, and I like that, because that's how you're able to really see who's serious and who's not. So I'm glad you guys are able to be here. Rocky, thank you so much for joining. It's great to actually see you in the club today. How are you?
I'm doing well. I'm glad I get to see you in your craft, in your artistry. Um, I will say Pinterest is my second favorite platform, and I know I'm probably cheating on Instagram, but I do have a question because I um, I end up doing really good, and don't go over there and looking for my Pinterest because I'm embarrassed by it. But I'll start getting reach, and then I'll kind of trickle off because I'm not too sure how to find what I should be talking about. I just recently got into blogging, and I have that on my website, and I know it does really well when it comes to blogging and directing people to your website with SEO and everything. So I guess my question is, where do I start as far as finding the right keywords or building content around what people are looking for, and then how do I push that out to where I can start to like really leverage based on content on Pinterest, if that makes sense. I know you have to repin things and all of those kind of stuff. I guess I just need a direction.
Great question, Rocky. So with Pinterest business, right? This is why I love Pinterest, because imagine if Instagram or Facebook gave you 100% of your content to credit your account every time you made a post. It's really beneficial. Think about it like personal credit, business credit. Like you're building these things, you're really focusing on your tactics, how you're able to make sure that you're not late on things, how you're able to plan ahead. How you like literally think of it like that on Pinterest, because on Pinterest, how you can find those keywords, it's literally right there. And I want to explain this a little more so that you can see. I want to know if it's different from what you're doing, because I'd love to know how I can be able to help. But what I usually do with Pinterest is that if I'm going to give you an example of one of our clients, right? So I can be very specific. So they deal with like health products, like she's into like medical products, and really helping people with balancing their mind, their body, lifestyle. So it's really focused on those things. And she I put up a board, and they call the board female health, right? And I typed in on the search, I just typed in health, right? And I saw like different options on the search bar. Usually you get like those options that come in bold. The ones that come in bold are usually like they're strong. They're pretty much like keywords, if that makes sense, because some keywords you can type in something sometimes and you won't see like a bold word. I don't know if you've noticed that, Rocky, but like sometimes you can type
In the
something.
search,
Sorry, say that again.
in the search field, or
Oh yeah, in the search field. Sometimes when you type in the search field, some results come up and they're not in bold. Like it's not all of them, but some of them, like most of them come up in bold, but some of them, if you really look at it, they don't show up in bold. And that tells you that they are not ranking, they don't do any justice, they don't help you, and you don't need them. So the other ones that you can get are the ones that are in bold, but most of the time you want to look for one that has like one name. Like if it's business, if it's blogging, if it's marketing. Like for me, I did digital marketing, and then in there digital marketing, I'm doing all assets of digital marketing. So if it's blogging for you, now you can focus on the word blogging as a board name, but now the description is also going to help people know what the blogging is going to be about. And that's where you can start to actually build those interesting numbers. You start to actually create value, you start to create content. It starts to change the way you start thinking about what you're doing with your content, and all of a sudden you start realizing that people start looking for your content and they find you. Now how they find you is this: if you put in your file name your title, your description, your alt text, the destination of that link, which should have keywords in them, because if there's no keywords in those destination links, it kind of is going to be like a broken link, and you don't want to have a broken link because a broken link can hurt your account, like bad credit can hurt your account. So you want to make sure that it's kind of like the same procedure, that everything that you're doing is aligned, and that way if somebody's looking for something specific, you show up. And if you look at some of the results you get that are like first, second, third, and you just see those results that come up, you're going to notice something. Those results that show up first, second, third, the pins themselves have those words that you typed for probably at least twice. At least twice. It could be more than that, but it's at least twice, because it could be literally on the image, it could be on the text image, and it could also be on the title. Look at Target. If you look at Target's Pinterest account, you'll notice they'll just put the name of the item, the name of the product. It's like a product tag. They'll put the name of the item, then they'll put that same word, those same words on the title. And then in the description, they're going to use those related keywords to talk about, if it's a shirt, they're going to talk about, okay, summer, they're going to talk about something that is actually in context to it. But you don't want to sound salesy either, because if you think about it, when you're putting content out on Pinterest, it's information that they're going to understand and they're going to read through. So if they can read through your content and understand that you gave them that information, they're going to come back to you because they know that you're going to feed them. And then even the way you layer your content on Pinterest matters. I don't know if you've ever tried this too, Rocky, but you can reorder. It's like reordering your images on Instagram, kind of, sort of, but now reordering all your boards on Pinterest. And when you reorder your board, it's like you're giving someone a hallway. Imagine going to like your favorite store and all the aisles have been shuffled. Like, it's going to look weird. You're going to be so confused to figure out, okay, where was this? Where was that? So think about it like that on Pinterest. It's like the different aisles. So if you can be able to give people an experience, they come to your Pinterest, they see a video, they hear your voice, they see your brand, they're ecstatic about what they're about to see. They scroll down, they see your video pins, they click on one, they like what they see, they keep swiping. Before you know it, they've spent 10 minutes in there. So it's really how you're able to invite them in and how you're able to keep them. So that's how you're able to get your keywords. But it goes a little deeper than that. But I wanted to give you like an overview to know if that's the same practice that you create for your business.
Yeah, I mean, it's interesting because it does flow kind of the same as Instagram, and it is kind of about research. So I kind of did that when I was looking for topics to discuss. I would go into the search. I did not know about the dark bold and the light bold, so I'll have to look into that as well. And if you have more of these rooms, I'll be in here.
Speaking of rooms, we're literally live in the Pinterest and SEO marketing Facebook group. So all the episodes that we've had, like on Monday, we had an amazing room. We were featuring the applications engineer at SEMrush, and he was here, and it was a really great conversation. And it's also in the Facebook group. So if you want to join it, the link is in my link tree. I'll also send a link to you, Rocky, as well, so that you can be able to get it. And anybody that needs it, please send me a back channel so you can get direct access to it. I don't want you to be looking all over for it. But if you want to make sure that you can optimize your website for Pinterest, whatever that I said in this room, because this room was closed, so you guys are coming like towards the tail end, and at the top of the hour I'm going to close off hand raising if there's no more questions, because I was here for 30 minutes. We were a couple of people in here. We're not this many. so we were able to really go down and talk about all the things to optimize your website for Pinterest. It was a closed room. It was a closed members only room. So if you want to be part of this members only room conversations, they get sticky because people actually stay. And it's crazy how CJ came up on stage and told me this story about how he's in the UK and he's about to sleep. I think it's almost 2 a.m. and he jumped into the room and he was talking about how he jumped from 38 followers to 500 plus followers. He had about 5,000 monthly viewers, and now he's on 500,000 monthly viewers. He showed me the results today. So I'm like, guys are working. People are doing numbers. So you want to be part of this and you want to see how we can grow for your business. And it only takes a couple of minutes for you to really see this through. So if you want to be part of this conversation, feel free to join this club. I'm going to add you as a member. We have 3 tiers in this club. And now I'm going to just give you this before we close. There are 3 tiers. The first tier is the Pinterest and SEO Marketing Club, which we're in right now. and we're having a great time because we have been able to have rooms almost. I think we've had rooms every day this week. So this week is pretty much on a roll, and we're gonna have yeah. Apart from tomorrow, we're gonna come back again next week with more rooms, and they're already scheduled. But for this week, we ran rooms from Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. Yeah, we ran rooms all through the week, and all of them are in the Facebook group if you want to binge watch and listen. So it's amazing that you're here because this is the first tier. The second tier is the Pinterest and SEO marketing Facebook group. That's where it's private. People comment, people go live. I know CJ said he's probably gonna, when he wakes up and he's all good and everything when he's free, he's probably gonna give us a breakdown on how he got those numbers in the group. So there are case studies in there. I've put in some case studies that I've been able to show people. So people are seeing numbers, people are seeing results, and we're not just talking about ranking and words and keywords. We actually want to show you the numbers. So be part of it. And then the third tier, this is going to be coming later in August. So make sure that you join our mailing list. And if you want to do that, the link is in my bio. If you have any questions, feel free to reach out to me and I can send them to you. But everything is accessible in my bio and the link in my bio. And this is the Pinterest and SEO Marketing Premium Podcast. We're going to be having a premium podcast. You're not going to find this on Apple Podcasts unless you have access to the premium feed. So it's going to be very interesting because we're going to have conversations with people. We're going to be able to have very deep things that even I'm going to have some episodes in there that are going to be audio played back. It's only for members, but there's a way it's going to be done. That's why it's not starting right now. So there's going to be so much coming your way. And by the time we get into August, very soon, you're going to get to know more about what we are talking about, how you can be able to grow, how you can be able to use Pinterest. All these stories I'm hearing from all these amazing people, it just did not happen by accident. Like this is something that when I see, I'm so happy to see this. Like I'm so happy to understand and see people grow because it takes a while to really do this on Pinterest. And people say, yeah, I can't do this. Oh yeah, I can't do that. And sometimes it really hurts because I'm like, people are getting results and there's nobody I know that does not want results. Like it's not even possible. Like tell me one person that doesn't like results. If you like results, then you know that you want to work for those results. So how do you work for those results when you actually understand the process of getting those results? Like when I see articles ranking, I know how it happened. When I see content moving, I know how the semantics was placed. Like when you look look at a director, a video director, if he's watching a movie, if you love movies, you're gonna watch a movie differently from someone that just loves to watch movies and has never held a camera. So you have to think about how can you be able to look at through the lens of your business and give people something for them to see while you're able to optimize your content. So if you want to join this exclusive content, please join us, follow this club. That's the first thing. Then once you get in as a member, and I bring you in, we're growing, we're really, really growing. We have a Facebook group going on right now. We have a challenge going on right now, and people are really going in. So tomorrow I'm going to be up again. I had to go live at 8:30 in the morning yesterday. Today I went a little later in the day. Tomorrow I'm going to go back in the morning early on Facebook Live in the group because it's so interactive. Like I go live in there like I'm literally talking on Clubhouse like there's nobody looking. So it's crazy and people comment. I come back and see people have made their GIFs. Andrea is here. She made a really nice GIF in one of the rooms, one of the classes that we talked earlier last week. So people are really interactive and I love how we're a community. It's beautiful to see people on Clubhouse and then talk to them on Facebook and then we go on Zoom sometimes. Like it's amazing. That's why I love being on this platform and I've seen amazing people, and I can see you all here. Diana, Andrea, Sophia, Jared, Lakeisha, Tiggs, Jocelyn, Kamisha, like we've been able to do this together. And Rocky came up on stage, and it's her first time in this club, and I'm so proud and just happy.
Embarrassed. I'm ashamed of my lack of Pinterest knowledge.
Honestly, I feel like with Pinterest, it's not even hard. Like, let me ask you this: just because you said that, what makes you feel like Pinterest is hard for you to understand? Is it the way it looks? Is it the way it
No,
feels?
no, I don't think it's hard because honestly, I did the idea pins and it took off. But that has been my max impressions. Honestly, I think it's my consistency. My only area is finding out what to post to where it attracts people. And I think that's my only area. And I kind of got, I got some ideas. And then also the I don't think it's hard. I think it's just knowing how it works. Like me, I've been doing Instagram for years. I know how Instagram works. I'm not too keen on what works for Pinterest. I'm just kind of throwing stuff out there and praying it does something, you know. But I'm not too keen on the method. But I just joined the Facebook group, so I'm looking forward to learning.
Amazing. Thank you so much. And I'll tell you this as you're getting in, because as soon as we're done with this, I'm going to bring you in, and then, we can be able to make this happen. But look at it from this lens, right? When you start looking at your audience insights, that's when you're going to start seeing results from the audience, because the audience insight shows you your impressions. Like, they're like four charts. It shows you your impressions, it shows your total engagement, it shows your total audience, shows your engaged audience. So you're looking at like different tiers at the same time. But when you're looking at your audience insights, it's showing you that you have people that are, let's say they're in Boston, they're on the metro, and they're probably going to work at 8 a.m. or 9, and then you see that the traffic is going upwards when you look at the graph, and you can see that it's darker, it's like a darker blue section, and there's a lighter blue section on the map. So I'm just giving you like quick insights to see that you can use the different cities to see exactly where your content is being reached to. And then the affinity is really where you can start to grow, because affinity is really like the sauce of Pinterest. Like, if you have a high affinity, just like on Facebook groups, if you do ads, if you know, like Jared, shout out to Jared over here, he does Facebook ads too. And when you talk about, affinity and scores, like, those are things that really make sure that you actually have a dedicated community that has an audience that responds to your content. So if you're looking for something specific, you have to go in that affinity. That's why Pinterest gives you that affinity score. And with Rocky, if you check your audience insights, I'm sure you can be able to see something in your affinity. I don't know, are you close to your Pinterest right now, so you can tell me, then I can show you what it is?
Yeah, I can log in. Okay, let me get in there.
Okay.
All right. Okay, where do I go?
Okay, so now that, are you on your audience insights?
Oh my God, my Pinterest jumped. All right, yes, I am. Well, no, hold on, let me go. I didn't even do anything. Maybe
You
I
don't
am doing
need to
good.
do anything on Pinterest. People think they gotta post 15 times a day to do something. Like, you don't need to
Oh
do
my
anything.
God.
I mean,
I've
you
had
need to post,
16K,
but not all the time.
16K monthly views. I wasn't there before.
What was it before?
Like 600.
Wow. Yeah, you're doing it right.
That's yay. Okay, so go to analytics.
So under analytics, you go to audience insights.
Oh my God, I'm doing good, Favor.
That's what I'm talking about. That's what I like to hear. I've heard so much good news today about Pinterest and people just making moves. This is dope. Tell me what you're seeing right now.
All right, so my impressions, it went up by 567%.
Damn.
Engagement went up by 999%.
Okay.
Total audience is 605%. It went up. And engaged audience is just 999%. It went up as well.
So they're all green.
My top 10 has 12,266 impressions. Wow. Okay, so where do I go? You said go to audience and then go.
So do you see where it says under analytics? It gives you overview, audience insights, conversion insights, video, and trends on the tabs. Are you on your laptop or are you on your phone?
I'm on my phone.
Okay, Pinterest is different on both apps, on both platforms.
You need to get on my computer. I can get on my computer.
Okay, because I wanted you to see like the graph from a wide view.
Okay.
So at the top, you will see business, create, analytics, ads, and then viewing. Okay, so under analytics, if you click on audience insights.
Okay.
So under audience insights, you're gonna see your name, and then it updates it every time. So it shows you the last 30 days, but it was updated 7 days ago, right? So when you scroll down, do you see affinity under categories and interests?
I see categories and interests.
Then it's the middle section. Mm-hmm. What's the highest one that you see?
Finance,
Okay. You see finance. Okay. What follows after that?
vehicles.
Okay. So you're seeing a total audience, right? So based on what you're looking at an audience that is showing what people are interested in, but you want to get more specific. So where you're seeing affinity, do you see where it says percentages of audience?
Mm-hmm.
So click on it so that you can reorder the size.
Okay.
Okay, what's the first one you see?
Sport.
You say you see board
Sport.
or sport? Okay, okay,
I don't know why this has nothing to do with Instagram marketing.
right. So you
Does this
see,
just tell me about my audience?
so this is telling you about your audience. It doesn't tell you that this is what you need to post. It just says under categories and interests, right? It tells you the most popular categories and related interests for this audience. So
Mm-hmm.
it's telling you ideally, it's not telling you anything about Instagram marketing, right? It's not supposed to.
Okay.
It's telling you what your audience likes, like where your
Mm-hmm.
audience goes to on a regular day.
Oh wow. Okay.
So if you don't have to tap into all of them because of course Pinterest can go from travel to fashion to finance, so you don't want to mess that up either. So if you look at the audience and you look at the categories and see what resonates the most with you, then you can be able to click on it, and then on the right side it populates more interest under there.
I see that.
Mm-hmm.
But you know what's funny? I know why it looks like this. Because I don't know if you've seen my car. I always talk about modding my car. And the last thing that I showed was me modding my sunroof. And that's the one that got I think, over 12,000 impressions.
There you go.
So it's a sports car.
You see what I'm talking about? So it's not really talking about Instagram marketing, but because your audience probably loves sports cars, then you could start doing. I mean, you don't have to. It's not like that. It's not a must. You're not obligated to. But when you start thinking about your content, you can use this as ideas to start building content around those interests that they already like.
Right. Okay. Okay. Interesting. I'm learning. Yay.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm so excited that you're here, and definitely because you've also requested to join the room, the Facebook group. I've just approved you as well, so you're in, and yeah, there's so much in there. So I'm excited to have you here, Rocky.
Thank you so much. I'm gonna be growing. I'm gonna be triple this next time you see me.
Oh yeah, definitely. Let's go. All right, guys. Guys, thank you so much for being here. You guys have been awesome. We had a very closed room in the beginning, and just to PTR real quick before we close, we had a 30-minute intensive closed members only room where I went deep into the discussion on your how to optimize your website for Pinterest. And this really changed today because I got two results. I just got two stories today. One was from CJ and one was from Rocky. And we've been able to talk about Pinterest at length. And we've seen how we've been able to optimize the websites that we have for Pinterest, both indirectly or directly. There's a way that when you know what you're doing and you know your audience, wherever you are sure of the results because you're confident in what you're posting. So it's really about the confidence and how you're able to put it together. So we've talked about it. And if you want to listen to the stories, please, I don't want to keep going on and on. So if you want to be part of this discussion, feel free to follow this club, the Pinterest and SEO Marketing Club. And then you're also going to join the Facebook group as well. It's a private Facebook group as well. We've been growing. Once we hit 1,000 followers here in the club, we've just been growing. Now we're over 50 members in the private group, and it's growing. People are commenting. People are like, it's. I feel like I'm talking to, like, whenever I post something and I get responses, it's always 100% response. And I'm so glad I'm able to really connect with you all. And I'm live right now. I'm live right now in the Facebook group, so I know tomorrow I'm gonna see comments, likes. People are just gonna be dropping gifts. Like it's amazing. I just love the community that we're building out here. So right now we're in a challenge right now. We're actually doing a 3-day challenge, and we're in day two. Tomorrow morning I'm gonna go live again in the Facebook group at 8:30 in the morning and let people know what the third thing is for them to do. So it's exciting to be here. We're seeing results, we're seeing people taking action, and that's what I love to see. So guys, we're going to be here again. We've been here all through the week, like Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and today we've been here. So tomorrow, there will not be any rooms going on in this club. But on Monday, we're going to start off with financial literacy pro tips for beginners. And I have an amazing guest. He's worked with Microsoft before, and he's coming with some gems. He's going to give you some ideas about financial literacy and what you can be able to do with your business. And an amazing guy. I met him. I've not met him in person, but because I've met him through different platforms, and it took us 3 years to meet, just to tell you how important that meeting was. Sometimes when you meet people, it's divine. So you don't want to mess up or burn any bridge that you, especially when you're connecting with people, especially you don't know. You never know who you can be meeting tomorrow. So that's how I've been able to build relationships. And he's going to be here on Monday talking about financial literacy tips, and I don't want you guys to miss it. That's going to be at 7 p.m. Eastern. If you're following this club, you're going to see it in the hallway. You're going to see it in the RSVP section, if you RSVP, that is. And then on Tuesday, we're going to be talking about benefits of SEO best practices for your business, and starting now. So we're going to be kicking off with best practices you can do for your business. And then we're going to also have something next month, at the end of next month. I've not talked about this much, but I want to talk about it right now, real quickly, because I'm sure you've probably scrolled. You're like, what is this room going to be about? Why is it all the way in August? Why is it August 31st? This is why. I've been always, and I'm telling you guys this because I really appreciate y'all, and I love building community, and I just love how we can be able to interact day in, day out. So I've always thought about it. It's always been on my vision board, and it's still in the writing there. And I've always wanted to have a way to really give people content to actually do in a simple format without stressing about whatever they're thinking of, like, oh, it's too hard, oh, I can't do this. Like, I want to go through like the simple processes. So on August 31st, I know it's far-fetched, but God willing, on August 31st at 7 p.m., we're going to be having digital marketing ABCs for entrepreneurs, and we're going to be starting with A. So why I'm saying this is because last year, I think it was around this time, we're in July, around this time last year, I was thinking, and I was like, I was talking with my fiance, and we were just brainstorming ideas and everything. And then all of a sudden, like, this idea came up of digital marketing, because I'm like, I'm dealing with entrepreneurs. I have a podcast now. Now that I've hit over 200 episodes, I'm like, okay, I need to really do something different. I need to switch up some gears. So now, last year around this time, I wrote it on my vision board, and I was like, yeah, I'm going to do something with ABCs one day. I don't know when, I don't know how it's going to come, and there are layers to it. So it's not just going to be Clubhouse rooms. There's going to be some extensions outside Clubhouse that's going to be really talking about this, and then that way we can be able to break it down, because I've realized that digital marketing is still new. Like, we're still literally, all these platforms we're in right now are new. They are new platforms. Like 10 years old, Pinterest was born 2010. This is 2011. So you can only imagine the amount of growth that's going to be coming in the future. So right now, the reason why I'm being so specific on this is to make sure that you understand how to use your website, use your Pinterest account, use it for your business, and start to grow. Because the moment you start to grow on your platforms, on your website, on your Pinterest account, you start to really, really show interest in the person that you're actually serving. That's one. And you're also showing interest to the algorithm, because there's no way at all, there is no way that you would rank on a search that has no indexing, has no content fillers, has no depth, has no keyword density, has no call to action, and has no color at all. You can be able to get there. And this all sounds like basic steps, but you really have to figure out, how can I be able to rank? Because when you start thinking about your colors, if you know well about brand psychology and colors, what colors do when people are thinking about things, those are things that you're going to start applying. You don't have to go to psychology school for this. Like, you just have to think critically, think emotionally, think with the intent of being a servant leader, and think with the action plan that allows you to really have space to think through whatever people are going through, because everybody's on their own journey. And I trust the process. Sometimes we talk to people, And we talk to them, and of course they're not, they're not ready, and I understand. And sometimes they come back 2 months later and they're like, hey, I've sorted everything out, we're good to go, and I'm happy. 3 months down the line, things are happening for them. So there's really no attachment. There's nothing like, oh, you're mine, I gotta have this now. No, everybody's free to fly. Like, we're nobody's caged, nobody is stuck. We're all able to do this, we're all geniuses. So I'm here in this club, and I intentionally made this Pinterest and SEO marketing club because I wanted to know how people are able to make moves and right decisions with clarity. And with clarity comes longevity, and that's what I'm focused on. So if you think about your pins, if you think about your posts, if you think about what you're putting out there, it's making a lot of sense. And it's making a lot of sense for me now because I've been able to reverse engineer the process. On Pinterest, yeah, the numbers can be going up and down, but on my Instagram, on my Facebook, on my LinkedIn, I'm still seeing the same kind of numbers and impact that I'm seeing. Like the highest, like for example, with Instagram Reels, just to show you how Pinterest can really impact because it's a search engine. So if my search is being in like a trend, or I'm actually serving the community better in a way, indirectly I could still be able to get that response. Because when I posted the podcast that I got featured on, by Voice America, I got featured in there, and I put it on the idea pin. I put it on the idea pin. It picked up some numbers, and then shout out to Hello Woofy. They just like launched they just launched an article on Monday on the 26th on their website. So we and talking about Clubhouse and Pinterest, and they featured me, and now it's ranking. When you type in on Google Pinterest and SEO marketing Clubhouse, you're gonna see my Clubhouse, then you're gonna see the Pinterest pin when we were like 500 followers in the club, and I put it on a milestone. I think that was like June 4th. I put it on a milestone. I was like, this is my milestone. I'm glad that we got here. Thank God. Now I want to scale up. I want to make sure that we can be able to get it. Now we're 1.2K followers in this club. That was last month. So the numbers are growing. Sometimes you're thinking, oh, how much ads do you have to spend? Oh, how do you do this? It's all in the intention. If you set a great intention, sometimes we're human, like we're not perfect, so sometimes we do some things, we don't think through them, but we shouldn't really think to the point where we don't want to scale through or fail forward. So why I'm saying this is that you want to be intentional with what you're doing, because what we've done here in this club has been able to really bring people together. I've seen people meet other people in this club. I've met people from all over the world. Like, it's so amazing to see people that you don't know, but you know them so well because you really care about what their their life is about, what they do. It's a simple hello, how are you doing? Happy birthday. Are you okay? Like, those things really help. And when I'm saying these things, I'm not just saying them because, oh, we don't care. These are soft skills. And if you want to really be focusing on longevity, especially when you're optimizing your website for Pinterest or for any other platform, you have to think about the customer first. So, with that said, I'm going to close off this room now and just let you know by saying this that if you need any more information, if you want to know exactly what's going on in this club, because a lot of things are going to be happening in August, make sure that you visit our website, or you can just Google, because we're talking about websites and SEO here. So just Google Work and Play Entertainment. You will see our website. You're going to click on the website, and the website is going to allow you to come in. You see the white space, join the mailing list so that you can be able to get exclusive content when we drop this amazing content for you. So have a wonderful night, guys. Make sure you guys are able to stay connected. If you're in this room, make sure that you're able to follow the club and also follow the group, so that in case you missed anything, because I don't want you guys to miss anything, just follow the group. And once you follow the Facebook group, you can be able to binge watch and listen to all these episodes we've had in the previous past. So have a wonderful night, guys, and I'm going to catch you guys in this clubhouse streets. Take care. Bye for now. All right, guys, we out. Have a wonderful night. Peace.